Welcome back, guys, to the day 2 of our rigorous graphic design training, and I am super excited because you are among the persons who have decided to take the bold step to become a professional in this field. Your certification is on the way. So right now we will be talking about how to design everything you can think of. But first, there are some key things you must have the basic understanding on before you can make any kind of design. We will be talking about those key things now, so I want you to be very cautious, because you knowing these things is the step forward to you designing a very attractive flyer, logo, business card, banner, anything at all. So there are basically 4 elements of a good design. Anything you are designing at all, there are basically 4 elements of a good design. Let me show you what these 4 elements of a good design are. The first element of a good design is what we call the fonts. The fonts. Number 1, the fonts. Number 2, we have the color. Number 3, we have the layout. And number 4, we have the image. So these are the 4 elements of what? A good design. Now, these 4 elements are things that actually makes your design make sense, or it will make your design an amateur design. That touch of professionalism will not be into it. What I mean is, for example, the fonts you use to design a logo is far different from the font you use to design a flyer. If you use the font you're supposed to use to design a logo for a flyer, the flyer will not come out well. If you use the font you're supposed to use for a flyer, for a logo, the logo will not come out well. I don't know if you get my point. So how do you know the fonts to use for a flyer? How do you know the fonts to use for a logo? How do you know the fonts to use for a business card? I tell you guys, it is very easy. We have gone past that age where finding information is very difficult. Now, I want to prepare your mind on something. That any problem you have, someone must have had that problem before. And the person must have gotten solution to that problem. So for the fact that someone has had that problem before, someone has gotten solution to that problem, you also can get solution to that problem. The internet has made it very easy for us all to find information. So how do we know the fonts to use for a logo? All we just need to do is go over to Google. I'm sure you know Google. So anything you want to design, the first thing you should do as a person who is as a learner, the first thing you should do as an amateur is make some research on the kinds of fonts that are good to design logos. And all you just need to do is come over to Google and search for fonts for logo design. So once you search for this, automatically Google will give you information. These are 50 logo fonts every designer should know about. So these fonts are fonts that will make your logo come out very well. Yes, 50 logo fonts every designer should know about. So making a research, Helvetica is one font that is popularly known, and this font is very good for logo designs. You get? This Trajan is another good font. So this will give you all the fonts that you need, of which you can choose from. Most of these fonts did not come with your Adobe Illustrator, so you need to install these fonts on your system. Now I want you to understand something. The installation of the fonts is something I'm going to teach you. I will show you how to install the fonts in this video, but I want you to have the basic understanding that the fonts you are installing it inside your system and not inside Adobe Illustrator. So it means if you have the fonts on your system, you can locate that font on Word, you can locate that font on CorelDRAW, you can locate that font on Photoshop, on any other existing editing softwares that you have in your system. So have that basic idea. You are installing the fonts in your system, not in Adobe Illustrator. So if you want to design a book cover all you need to do is come to Google and make a research for the fonts to use for a book cover. So now, how do you download a font? Very, very easy. Let me show you how to download a font. Take for example, I want to download this Elevita font. It is not in my Adobe Illustrator, it's not in my system. All you just need to do is copy the font, copy the name like this. Then you go over to Google, type Elevita font download. So after you have seen all the fonts they have shown you there, you can now look for the fonts you need to download. So this is what 1001fonts.com. This is a website that you must take note of. This website is a website that gives you access to free easy fonts. So over here you find different types of the Elevita fonts that you can download. So depending on what you want to design, we are talking about a logo in this context, so I can decide to choose any of these fonts here and do what? Download the font. Let me pick this. Let me just click on download for this. Automatically it will start downloading. It is it's not a big file, so all you need to do is open this zip file. I'm showing you how to install the fonts on your computer now. Open the zip file, then you will find all the fonts here. So these are the different types of what Elevita you have. So just double click on it and you see this install button here. These are the previews of the fonts. This is the preview of what the fonts looks like. You see this install button, just click on install and immediately it will be installed on your system. So when you go over to your AI and you want to change the fonts for your design, all you just need to do is search for Elevita design. Search for the name of the font you have just downloaded. So please take note that knowing the kind of fonts to use for your design is very important. Until you become a professional, do not just use any fonts for your design. Look at like 4 to 5 different fonts that you can use for your design, then try them out in the main project. We'll be doing that practically as we continue in this class. Do not worry. So that is one of the elements of a good design, the font. Number 2 is the color. The color is another very important aspect of your design. In fact, the job you want to do will determine the color your design will come out with. There are some brands that already have their colors and they want you to use their colors. Fine and good. You can use their colors combination and get them a good design. But if it is a brand that does not have a color code, yes, you need to search for what? A color that would match their design. Take for example, you want to design a flyer for a medical outfit, for a hospital, or you want to design a flyer for a pharmacy. What do you need to do when it comes to colors? After searching for your fonts, you just need to do what? Go search for flyers of pharmacies online. Or you just need to go over to Google and will search for flyers for pharmacy. Autocorrect. Alright, so when you come there, you click on images. So this will give you a color, what? Imagination of what you should do. I don't know if you get my point. So don't just jump and start using any color you want. No. Come over to Google and look at what? Color ideas for pharmacies. See, this flyer makes a lot of sense. Makes so much sense. So getting ideas is something that you must do. Don't just do it on your own. You must make a research first before you jump over to your final job. You get my point? So the font is number 1, the color is number 2, an engineering firm for engineering company, flyer for engineering company. So once you hit the enter button, it is going to give you what? The colors for an engineering company. And it is obvious that it is yellow. That is the color for an engineering company. So guys, you understand what I mean when I say you need to make research for you to know the colors that best match what you want to design. I believe I have talked much on the color. So now let's move over to the next element, which is what? The layout. What is the layout? The layout is simply what your design should look like. Take for example, the way this design looks is the layout of this design. The layout of this design is far different from the layout of this design. It's far different from the layout of this design. So you also need to research the best layout that will come out very, very well. Don't worry, in the next video, I will open your eye to something that you never believed was easy to get. Just relax. So the layout is one very, very important. Again, as we go forward, we will practicalize all these steps and we'll see exactly how to perfect ourselves on them. The last but not the least element that makes up a good design is what? The image you want to use. You will agree with me that for you to design a good, attractive logo, you need a high definition image. That is one thing. So even if you want to design a flyer for a brand, for a construction company, and they tell you that they want to use their own images, I do not use images that they snap with phone. I recommend them going for a photo shoot if they want me to use their own images. But if they do not want you to use their images, you can go online and you do what? Get images. But it has a very, very bad consequence. What do I mean? Imagine I want an image of a construction company. I just come online, image of construction, and I hit enter on Google. Okay, for me to get Nigeria, construction in Nigeria. Yes, this is a construction image, right? This is also a construction image with a high resolution, very, very high quality. But what is the risk of using this image for my design? Let me give you a brief story of a friend of mine. Actually, I trained him on graphics design, but he's now a friend of mine because he's a professional. So he actually went online and picked up a picture, something like this, and used the design for a client, not knowing that the client planned using that picture for a billboard, using that design for a billboard. Designed the job, and about 3 to 5 months later, policemen came, and the person who owned this picture, the picture he used, came and they did what? They arrested him. They first of all arrested the brand. Why do you use my picture without my permission? He said, no, I have a designer that did it. And they did what? They came and picked him up. That guy spent well over 5 million naira to get out of that shit. All because he used a picture that someone else posted online. You also would not be happy if someone should use your face without your permission. So the law also does not take it lightly. So I really, really discourage just going on Google, picking up images that relates with people's face, especially, or people's projects, especially. You might get sued for it. It is also possible you might get away with it. But if you do that all the time, you might get sued for it. So I do not recommend you using pictures for people. Now the big question is, how do you get HD images that they would not come and sue you for? Very, very easy. Take note of these websites. Number 1, pixabay.com. Pixabay.com, sorry. Yeah. Pixabay.com is actually a website where you can get free stock images that no one will sue you. Take for example, let me type, look, construction, automatically it will give me HD images of construction sites that I can use. Take for example this. So these are images that nobody can come and sue you for. In fact, this image belongs to Pixabay. So they are giving you these images for free. So Pixabay is one website that you must take note of. The next website that I will be giving to you right now is pixels.com. Pixels.com. Pixels.com is another website where you can get free stock images without anybody doing what? Suing you. Please click image containing a boat. Boat. I think I'm true. Next. Alright, confirmation. Boat. This is a plane. Boat. Check. Yes, this is pixels.com. So all you just need to do is come here and you search for any image you need. You can get them for what? For free. Please and please, even if you must use an image on Google, the image should be from a stock site. Don't just pick up anybody's image and use it. It might get you in trouble. Please take note of that. I have a resource of over 5,000 stock images with black people. In fact, images that for all kinds of design. Any kind of design, I have those images. These are images that I bought and used for clients' job for the past 5 years. I saved all of them online. In case you might want to buy a picture, we also have sites where you can buy pictures. One of those sites is what? gettyimage.com. gettyimage.com. So Getty Image is a site where you can get stock images that you can buy. You get my point? So any image you could not find on those two sites I gave to you, you must find it on Getty Images, but it will not be for free. So this is where I bought most of the pictures I use for my clients. And you know what? So this is where I got most of the pictures I use for my clients. I buy them from this site. You know what? I'm going to give you access to all these photos. Okay? Don't worry, I'll give you access to the photos. I'll send you a link where you can download all these photos. I hope you get my point, guys. So guys, images is something that adds color to your design. We will talk more about it as we move forward in this class. I hope you get my point. We have just highlighted the 4 main elements of a good design. We talked about the fonts, we talked about the color, we talked about the layout, and we talked about the image. These are very, very important. I hope you have taken down the names of the sites that I gave to you. This will enhance your what? Your design and make it look really, really beautiful. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video.